Namaste. Today is a Tuesday. Tomorrow is going to be Wednesday, which in corporate terms is the hump day, which, before you get any bad ideas, it basically means that it's the worst day in a corporate's life through the week. That's basically because, unlike what you guys think of it being a hump day, which I know what you mean, I'm in for it as well, but sadly not. In corporate parlance, in corporate lingo, the hump day refers to Wednesday because the hump actually traces the arc of a slave's pain through the week. It's the highest tomorrow. So I'm looking forward to that. Yay. So to get over the drudgery of the hump day, the hump day that's about to come down and descend upon us, I was reading something on Facebook. Now, my Facebook is kind of weird. I'm a big fan of MMA, so I have this inherent bloodlust in me. I love blood, okay? I love violence. I like seeing people fight. On the road, if something happens with the cars, I'm like, fight, please, break his bones. Like, I don't know, do something. But at the same time, I'm a sucker for like kitten videos. And so if you go through my Facebook, any given point of time, I'm scrolling, I'm dead, the zombie scroll. All you can see is are videos of violence interspersed with videos of cute kittens. It's strange. But every now and then on my Facebook wall, I will come across an article by a culture magazine of sorts. It's called Arre. Do you guys know about Arre? Yeah. So Arre is basically a magazine, a digital culture magazine, which tries to be wise. Just like every other culture magazine out there, everyone wants to be wise, okay? Except they fail miserably at being like wise, because I'll tell you what. When you go through the articles of Arre, you realize one fundamental difference between Arre articles and wise articles. And that is basically that Arre is extremely feminine. In some way or the other, the whole touch, the whole feel of every article, the whole brand stands for something that is very feminine, which is not a bad thing, because some of the articles are really good, and writer to writer, I know good writing when I see one, and they have a good team of writers up there. But Vice, on the other hand, is definitively masculine. Okay, Vice is definitely masculine. Arre tries to be wise, but they can't, because of this fundamental difference, right? And dare I say, Arre seems to be, or rather, they kind of err on the side of being very, dare I say it, gharelu. Should I have said that? I don't know. There's no one in the room. Whatever, doesn't matter. So anyway, so this particular artist actually caught my attention because there was jargon in the article's title, and that served as a perfect clickbait for suckers like me, right? And that particular jargon had within it a phrase, okay? The title had a phrase within it, and that phrase was liberal optimist. That's apparently a thing. There was a label in it, in the title, which had me clicking on it desperately, wondering what the is a liberal optimist. I don't know what a liberal optimist is. This is so cool. I can probably learn something new today. Except I didn't, because it was a useless article. So I went about reading it. So essentially, the article aims to sort of classify a certain section of us citizens as liberal optimists, and the way the writer goes about it, let me just read it out to you. I have it open in front of me. A good liberal optimist remains ensconced in their ivory tower. Ensconced. A good liberal optimist remains ensconced in their ivory tower, is woke to global affairs, but disconnected from the pulse of the nation, and outraged by the election results. Okay, makes sense now. Except with that particular line, you just described 90% of mainstream media and probably a vast majority of people on social media already, especially on Twitter. What's new about that? But no, the reason this pissed me off is, forget the article. The article has some good points, but this phrasing of a label like a liberal optimist is basically coloring the very word liberal in a very as if they want to deafen the blow to some extent, right? Yeah, they want to ease the blow of the phrase. They don't want to mention liberals because liberals are butthurt right now after the election results. Let's face it, everyone's butthurt, and everyone's kind of disappointed because, hey, end of the day, no matter how articulate, how well informed you are, you come back from work and you put on the TV and you lap up whatever mainstream media has to say, and 70-80% of mainstream media, especially the top channels out there, were all talking about, Modi is going to do this, BJP is going to do that, the whole country is going to dogs and stuff like that, and we need liberal values, liberal principles, liberal this, liberal that, oh, whatnot, right? So they all internalized all that bullshit narrative, and for whatever reasons, they thought that's exactly what was going to happen in the elections. And to some extent, this particular phrase, when it says like a good liberal optimist remains ensconced in their ivory tower, it's actually kind of true. Most of us are in our ivory towers. We come back, we watch TV, we think we know shit. We go back next day over lunch, we spew the same shit. We come back, we eat some more of that shit. Next day again, it's input output garbage all the time. No one really bothered to talk to the maid. No one bothered to talk to the milkman. No one bothered to talk to the Uber driver. When I was in Bombay, I spoke to the Uber driver. I think he was he was a Bihari. They're kind of upgraded now. So he had to say, sir, aur kisko vote dein? Whoever is doing work is who needs to be voted. And end of the day, let's face it, the mood is positive that something's at least moving. And no question, I mean, there are no doubts that we have to vote for the BJP, right? We have to vote for the BJP. There were no doubts. You asked the maid, and she happens to be a Telugu person who speaks Tamil from Bangalore. Don't ask. She said, I have no choice because things are moving. I see money in my bank balance. A lot of my relatives I think all of my relatives have been benefited by some. Wow, this is insane. The light just went. But whatever, this is so cool. But anyway, so like she was saying that a lot of her family members have actually been touched by some kind of a Modi scheme here or there. I mean, I don't know how true that is, but that's her belief. You might as well challenge her for that, right? But the other thing that pisses me off about these kind of articles is that you just come up with random jargon just to, it's like a red herring. It's like a red herring. You know what a red herring is? It's like a diversion. Just call it. There's no such thing as a good liberal optimist. I don't even know what that means. What just say it's a liberal. That's okay. It doesn't matter. In common parlance right now, given the geopolitical state of narrative, a liberal is definitely a certain variety of citizenry who think a certain way, and maybe the opposite is whatever have you, like right-wing propagandists, whatever. It doesn't matter. But don't shade it just to make your top editor happy in that magazine of yours. It's disingenuous. That's the right word. Oh, the light's back. It's disingenuous. Like, what is a good liberal optimist? What is a liberal optimist? Like, what is a liberal pessimist in that sense? A liberal is someone who's probably progressive for progressive values, right? And an optimist is probably someone who believes in the greater good or things working out in the long run and stuff like that, right? What's a liberal optimist? It doesn't make any sense to me. As opposed to that, a liberal pessimist is what? I have no idea. Do you guys have any idea? And on top of that, the writer actually goes on to qualify a liberal optimist as a good one and a bad one. So a good liberal optimist is the one who remains ensconced in their ivory tower, is woke to global affairs, but disconnected from the pulse of the nation and outraged by the election results. As opposed to a bad liberal optimist who is what? I don't know. I mean, I'm just thinking, like, what would a bad liberal pessimist be like? Bad liberal pessimist. These Arre guys, sometimes, you're just scrolling nicely and you're watching some guy getting beaten up, getting his teeth punched in, and then there's a cute meow, a nice kitten, and suddenly you have these kind of articles come and it kind of pisses you off. So here's to staying away from such bullshit jargon to being aware of such bullshit jargon, and generally taking what these so-called I call them culture brigands, what these culture brigands have to say, take it with a pinch of salt. Yeah. Until next time, guys. Peace.